Hi everyone, my name's Dale. I'm a rideshare driver out in West Virginia, around Logan and Mingo counties. I got a story for you tonight. Something that happened a few years ago, back when I had just started driving the graveyard shift. Let's just say, it made me question everything I thought I knew about this world. Maybe, just maybe, it'll do the same for you. It was one of those moonless Appalachian nights, blacker than coal. The kind where your headlights seem to get swallowed by the dark, and every shadow out the corner of your eye looks like it wants something from you. I remember it was almost 2 a.m., and I was just about to call it a night when I got a ping pickup request from a spot just outside Williamson. The name that popped up was Cole. No picture. I sighed, turned the car around, and started heading up a quiet stretch of Highway 52 that cuts through the hills. After 10 minutes, my GPS had no clue where I was. The roads got narrower, rougher, snaking through thick forest. No lights, no mailboxes, no signs of life. But finally, I saw him. He was standing on the gravel shoulder, facing away from the road. Tall, skinny, pale, wore a white button-up shirt tucked into old slacks. Looked like something out of the 1950s. I rolled down the window and called out, "You Cole?" He didn't answer. Just turned slowly, opened the back door, and got in. Now, I've had my share of weirdos. Drunks, creeps, folks who just want to talk your ear off. But this guy, nothing. Not a word. Just stared straight ahead, hands folded neatly in his lap. After a minute of silence, I asked, "So, where are you headed?" Still staring, he said in a calm, dry voice, "Harmon's Hollow." I blinked. "I don't think that's in my maps." He turned his head toward me ever so slightly. "I'll guide you." I started driving. He gave simple directions. Left here, straight up the hill, down the dirt path. Each turn took us deeper into nowhere. At one point, the road turned to gravel. Then it wasn't even road anymore, just 2 tire tracks through grass. I glanced at the rearview mirror again and again. He didn't flinch, didn't speak. Just watched the trees outside. In those woods, man, they were too quiet. No crickets, no owls, no. Nothing but the hum of my engine and the occasional crunch of a stick under my tires. Eventually, he said, "This is it." We stopped beside a crumbling stone wall, overgrown with ivy. Beyond it, I could see the faint outline of an old gate, rusted, twisted. Behind that, a path into thick forest swallowed in fog. No houses, no cabins, just dark. I looked at the fare. $27 he handed me to crisp $20 bills. "Keep the change," he said softly and stepped out. I watched as he walked toward the gate. Without touching it, it creaked open. He disappeared into the woods beyond. The gate swung shut behind him. I don't know why I didn't just drive away. Maybe it was the quiet, or the way the air suddenly turned cold, or maybe it was just curiosity. That itch you get in your brain that says something and right. I reversed a bit, turned the car around, and parked facing the way we came. I got out. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, Dale, you idiot. Trust me, I've thought it 100 times since. But back then, I wasn't thinking. I stepped over the low part of the stone wall and walked toward the gate. It looked ancient. The chain holding it shut had snapped, links rusted clean through. The trees beyond the gate were tangled with vines, thick branches clawing down like skeletal arms. I took out my flashlight and aimed it down the path. What I saw froze my blood. There was a cabin, or what was left of one. Roof caved in, windows shattered, its front porch dangling by a few rotted boards. But the door was open, just barely. And there, standing in the doorway, was a shadow. It was him. Same white shirt, same dark pants. But something was different. His head. It was tilted back at an unnatural angle, like it had been broken. He wasn't standing. He was hanging from the rafters above. But then, just like that, he vanished. I stumbled back, nearly dropping my flashlight. My heart thundered in my ears. I ran back to the car, slammed the door, and peeled out of there so fast, gravel sprayed everywhere. I didn't stop driving till I hit the Sheetz gas station, back near the main highway. Inside, under the harsh fluorescent lights, I tried to calm down. Bought myself a Mountain Dew, sat in the car, and told myself it was stress, hallucination, fatigue. That's when I remembered the fare. I reached into my glove box tray, where I kept my bills organized. I always kept 5s, 10s, and 20s separated neatly for quick change. I should have had the 2 20s he gave me. It was nothing. Not even a crumpled corner of a bill. I checked under the tray, under the seat, all over the car. Gone, like he'd never been there. The next morning, I stopped by a diner in Logan. You know, one of those places where old folks sit around and talk about coal strikes and ghost lights? I asked casually. You ever heard of Harmon's Hollow? The waitress froze. A gray-haired man, 2 stools down, looked over. Why are you asking about that place? I shrugged. Had a passenger ask me to take him there? He nodded slowly. Son, Harmon's Hollow don't exist no more. Flood washed it out back in '63. Whole family died in that storm. There was this one man. Name was Cole Harmon. Found him swinging from a tree by the church the night after the flood. Said he couldn't live with the loss. The man sipped his coffee, then added, Folks say sometimes you can still see a man out that way looking for a ride home. The only thing is, ... he don't have one. I've been driving these hills for a few years now. I don't scare easy. I've picked up meth heads, drunks, even a guy once with a live snake in a cooler. But I've never, ever gone back to that part of Mingo County. I don't drive past where the gravel starts. I don't take calls without profile pictures. And I definitely don't accept rides to nowhere. Do I believe in ghosts now? Let's just say I don't disbelieve anymore. If you're ever in the hills of West Virginia and your app pings for a rider named Cole, ... do yourself a favor. If you enjoyed this story and want more first-person horror from rural America, let me know. And always, always check the back seat.